Bună ziua și bine ați venit la sesiunea Idei la clasă, instrumente simple și distractive de programare. Eu sunt Roxana Turcu de la Asociația TechSoup, gazda acestei sesiuni, împreună cu invitata Polin Mas, pe care o voi introduce imediat, cu mai multe detalii. Și alături de mine în chat și regie tehnică este colega mea Elena și Adrian, care ne ajută cu streamingul. Iată-ne în prima zi de festivalul digital Predau Viitor, creat de Asociația TechSoup, un maraton educațional pentru profesori din România și Republica Moldova despre pedagogie digitală, STEAM și cetățenie digitală. Înainte de orice, să știți că în chat colega mea Elena a pus informații despre cum să avem o experiență grozavă în timpul festivalului și eu o să dau imediat share la prezentare pentru mai multe detalii. Și nu, acesta era linkul. Ok, super. Acesta este butonul. Doar vă aducem aminte că înregistrarea va fi disponibilă ulterior și o veți putea accesa. Vă invităm să contribuiți în chat cu întrebări și comentarii pe care să le preserați, bineînțeles, cu asertivitate, respect, politețe și energie bună. Vă readuc aminte de Padlet, unde veți găsi toate informațiile, inclusiv prezentarea care va fi încărcată ulterior. Și dacă suntem la Padlet, vă aduc aminte și despre invitația la reflecție, așa că inclusiv din această sesiune să vă notați 3 lucruri pe care le-ați aflat noi, 2 idei interesante pe care vreți să le împărtășiți cu colegii apoi, sau un lucru pe care vreți să-l duceți la clasă. Pentru restul sesiunii o să continuăm în engleză, așa că o să schimb acum în engleză. To introduce you the guest of our session, I'm really honored to have with me Polin Mas, who teaches computer science at the Royal Dutch Visio School for Visually Impaired Students. She worked in ICT for 20 years, and then she quit her job to start teaching ICT in school to inspire girls into tech jobs. She's also an author, a book author, and she has a book about coding to be released or to have been released this summer. And she says that she wants to empower girls by teaching their teachers how they can give coding lessons. And today she is here to present examples from activities that she does, and also to offer simple tools and creative tips to do coding in the classroom. Without any further ado, I introduce Polin Mas, and thank you so much for accepting our invitation.
Well, thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. I have a small presentation for you. You can follow the presentation with the link, and you can click on all the links that are in the presentation. So I will start my presentation. If you have any questions, you can put it in the chat, and then we will answer it at the end, because I cannot read the chat when I'm doing my presentation. Share. Yes. Yeah. So I'm really happy to be here. So you can scan the code if you want to, and I think they will put it in the chat too if you want to. My name is Polin Mas, and as Roxana told you already, I started computers when the computers were really big. And I did that for 20 years, and then I quit my job and started teaching coding in schools to inspire girls. And now I'm teaching at the School of Visually Impaired Students, and I am introducing the computational thinking curriculum in all the 5 schools in the Netherlands. So here you can see Brian, we're working with the Microbit and they're sending Morse code to each other. I'm also an EU coding teacher, an ambassador, so I'm promoting coding in the Netherlands and also in Europe. And I'm really fun by the Microbit. So my new book will come with 13 new projects about making with the Microbit. So, and I'm a mother of 4, and of course they are expanding with boyfriends and girlfriends. So last weekend we had fun in Euro Disney. So here's a very recent picture from the day before yesterday. So Jeanette Wing, she made she said computational thinking is a way of thinking to solve a problem with the computer, so the computer can carry it out. I don't know if you have another definition for computational thinking in your country, but we always struggle with the name computational thinking, and we sat down a few times with a lot of people in the Netherlands to come up with a Dutch name, but we didn't. But still, if you look at the Microbit, you know, the Microbit is computational thinking because you can really make something with a Microbit and then you have to use the Microbit to do it. So I'm really fond of that. Seymour Papert, he started in 1960 already with teaching children how to code a computer. And if you look at this picture, he has a kind of a Bebot in his hand. You know, he made that already in 1960. And he always say you only can teach the children when it has a personal meaning to them. So for instance, you think we're going to make a poem or robot, or we're going to make a computer. So name it. Don't say we're going to do a lesson of Scratch. No, we're going to make a comic and then we use Scratch, or we're going to make we're going to make a computer. So, and then we will just use paper tools and everything to write it on. So you really have to name it. Don't use the program you're using it because they will not understand it, but really give it a name. That is very important because then your students know immediately what they're going to make. Seymour Papert also wrote a very important paper already, 20 things to do with a computer. And this is from 1961. And you still can download it because I found it on the internet and put it on my weblog. So you can download it and it's very interesting to see. And also there is this new edition on it. It's called 20 Things to Do with a Computer 50 years later. So this book came out very recently. And many people who helped writing this paper in 1971 still added new things to it in this way. So maybe it's interesting for you to see. If you Google for Seymour Papert, you can see still the research he did in 1960, what kind of computers he used then with your students. And as you see, it's always fun to see that he's really making it work. And also Papert started also Lego Minecraft and Scratch. So that's important, the ideas from that. He studied under Piaget. And Piaget always said children can only understand it if they invent it themselves. You cannot teach children how to learn how to swim if you're not actually in a swimming pool with them. They cannot learn that from YouTube. So you really they have to figure it out how they can float. You can help them, but they have to figure out how they float. And also from him is the very stages of development that you really have to be careful what you teach children, at what age, what level, how they think. Because if you teach them too difficult things in a very early age, they will not understand it. I will continue with computational thinking. Computational thinking, they describe, I think, like 12 different words, what's part of computational thinking. But usually you only use the 4 ones. It's called decomposition, it's abstraction, pattern recognition, and algorithms. Algorithms, most of the things you do with computational thinking and coding are algorithms. Decomposing is you have a big problem and you make it into small problems, and you start with one problem and then the end you can put it all together. Abstraction is, you can do that in a very early age already, because everything look in the room, everything what is round or everything what is a square. And then you can say like a pizza is a round one, but also an apple is a round one. So that's what you can do at a very young age already. Pattern recognition is very important, because then they can see what is a loop, if they can recognize the pattern, what is there, what is missing. An algorithm is how you do it in what things. You can always do unplugged activities. I always start my lesson with an unplugged activity, even if they are 15, 17 years old. I always try to figure out how can I do it unplugged in a very small way. And in the UK, so in England, they started teaching computational thinking in a very young age already, and it is mandatory. So, and then I was at a lecture, I think 2 or 3 years ago, just before COVID, and I was at this lecture, and this professor said, at the age till 12, it's you can always do unplugged activities, and you don't have to use a computer. It's better to do only unplugged activities. They get all the words and they will understand it. And then in a later age, you can do plugged activities. I always think it is difficult to do a lot of unplugged activities, because they think, well, now we're going to have ICT lessons or computer lessons, and we don't use a computer. So I always want to make a combination of it. But keep in mind, you can always do unplugged activities. That doesn't cost a lot of money, and you can do it very easily. You don't need internet, you don't need computers. So keep that in mind. Now, I made this lesson, and with the talk which I have with Roxana, I made 3 different levels. So I start with 4 till, what can you do with 4 till 8 years old? So I always said already unplugged activities. And you can say, what days of the week is it? That's a very easy thing you can do. Or you can say, what colors are these? So put all the red colors together, all the blue colors together, or make like a list from small to large, or from all the different kind of like all the round things together. So those are very easy activities what you can do. And Linda Liukas, I have one of her books here. You can see Linda Liukas. She wrote a few really nice books, what you can read in the classroom. It's about this nice girl, and she is walking through a computer, and she is doing activities in the computer, and the children start understanding what is in a computer, and she made these beautiful drawings, and that's continuing in the series of books. And when you look for Hello Ruby, you find unplugged activities, what you can do. I will show it in this lecture, a few of them. Of course, if you want to do something with computers or something robotics, use, like we call it a B-bot, but I think you will recognize it. It's something with big buttons on top of it, and you can move it forward, left or right, or go to the back or stop. Or you can download Scratch Junior. You can do it on an iPad, and recently there is a beta version. You can download it on the computer. You can do Scratch Junior, which is really fun, what I really love to do. So that's usually what I do at that age. Not too much, lots of activities in your classroom. You do already lots of computational thinking. Here, I made 3 schedules like this. So here you can see algorithm, decomposition, pattern recognition, and abstraction. And you see activities, what you can do under there. This is all unplugged, and those are plugged. So for an algorithm, do singing, do dances, copy me. What do we do? For decomposition, you can do like dressing up dolls or other things, or talk about what is in the day. You have the morning, the afternoon, and the evening. And then you can say, what do we do in the morning? And then those are all small activities. That's also already decomposition. That's what you do in your classroom already. And pattern recognition, I told you already, like all the squirrels, circles or squares, or put them all in colors. That's what you do a lot already. And this is fun. Make your own game, computer game. I have a picture of that from that later. That is an activity from Linda Liukas. And for the plugged activities, I start always a Bbot lesson, Bbot lessons, how it is working. And then when one lesson after that, I give them a Bbot driving license. If they do like 5 or 6 activities in the right way, they get a license, and they're very proud of it. Like we in the Holland, you get a license when you can tie your shoelaces, and also around Santa Claus, they give like a paper, a small thing that they pass their exam to be the help of Santa Claus. And here is Scratch Junior, recently on the tablet and also on a computer to download, which is really nice. And this is also from Linda Liukas. It's a memory game, so they have to figure out all the patterns to come together. And these memory games are all the pictures which are in the book of Linda Liukas. And here I can click on it. I hope you still see it. Roxana, do you still see my screen? Do you see a map?
Yes.
A memory? Yes. Okay. So this is just a memory game, and in here are all the pictures who are in the book of Linda Liukas, and you can talk about it. If this is too big, you can say here, I can put it here, like for instance, I only want like 6 different kind of things, patterns you can do. And on the website of Linda Liukas, you can all print them and download it, and then they can use it also on the table. I teach visual impaired students, so we do this on the DJ board when the students only see a little bit, and then of course we only do 4 pairs. That's difficult enough for our students already. So this is a very simple one, what you can do. And here is make your own computer. You can download this, and they can make their own computer and glue it all in there. And also I say, look at your keyboard. What kind of keys do you have there? And then I show them there, what does a Chinese keyboard look like, or a French or a Dutch keyboard look like, or Arabic keyboards look like. And then the first time they really start to look at the keyboards, we have like in the Netherlands, we have that QWERTY. And then I show them there also is like an AZERTY teacher keyboard. And they think that is really funny to do. So, and I think I have some pictures here of it too. Yes, here you see. Here we have like a special dressing up dolls. And we make the clothes in different kind of material because our students are visual impaired. So they can feel the different kind of clothes. And of course, when you first put on the trousers and then you put on your underwear, that's not going to work, and they will laugh about it. But that's thinking in patterns. Here you can say making a small computer. And here is the driver's license we use for the Bbot. See how proud they are. And you can, those are pictures really from my classroom. So you can see to the left, right, and the girl in the red. She hardly can see, but she can see the lights on the Bbot, so she's funny with that. And here you see Scratch Junior, always really fun to do. And it's a very good start, beginning for Scratch. Now, 8 to 10 years old, always think about unplugged activities. Always think about an unplugged activity, what you can do before you start your lesson. With Scratch, make like a comic, make a presentation in Scratch. Don't use PowerPoint, but make a presentation in Scratch. You can do math projects. You can look for math projects or language projects made in Scratch by other teachers. You can use it. And very often we make like a comic book in Scratch with different kind of levels. If you use Scratch as a teacher, make a teacher account. Very important. You can see what your students are making. But also a nice activity is make a stop motion, which is very important because they have to make like a storyboard, which is an abstraction of the story they're going to make, and then they're going to make. So this is a very good combination of unplugged and also a plugged activity. And then make a small game with them. In the Netherlands, we have a really nice website for that, but probably you will have it too. Maybe I can share it. Also here, the same schedule, 8 till 10 years old, algorithm. An algorithm is also folding a paper plane because they have to follow the steps which are on the plane. And they have to think from 2D, 2D in 3D, which is very important for their abstraction. Program each other. Like, don't program the Bebot, but program each other. One step forward, how you're going to walk around a chair, how you're going to do 10 sit-ups and do something else. So that's a fun activity. We have like roll a robot, which is pattern recognition. Here you see you need a dice. Yeah, and then you need to make this, and then they have different kind of bodies. So if the dice is 2, you have to draw that body. If the dice is 3, you have to draw that head. If the dice is 5, you have to draw that arms and legs. And you have to use that one to use the control which are on the robot. So online there are different kind of things for this. And I always also use it, and then we have like touchable things for our students. So this is a very easy activity. Or make a flip book, which is really fun to do because they can take it home. I see, I hope it's working. Hey. You see, it's a very good activity before you make like a storyboard. They make like a small booklet like this. They can look online what kind of ideas they have, and they start thinking they have to really make an abstract picture of a person, because they have to make like 100 drawings to make a good one, and also they have to draw it on the back under there. So you can really flip the book. So, and also because those are the Post-its, it's very cheap. So they can take it home, and they love that, to take it home and show it to their parents that they make it. And then for plugged activity, there is this code.org activities, lots of activities on code.org, and dance. I always do. Like you have to make different kind of figures in the dance. You can choose different kind of music. They can do it. So that's always fun to do. Here is the game studio they can make in the Netherlands. And probably, can I do it quite time? Yes, I'll just do it. This is all in Dutch. So you don't have to make. So this is the top of it, of the person you're going to make. And then I say continue. This is get the finish, show the point. So this is just a small start, and I also keep it on the basic. Make a level. You can make a level from top or from the zij, from one side. Yeah, okay. Sorry. So here is, for instance, so my person, I can put them in. I put it in here. And I always say, put in 1 or 2 things and then test right away. So I say test, hit the finish. And they can make more kind of things to it. So stop. And here is some things are moving, or you can put in like a sun somewhere. So it's very easy to make, and you can make it larger and up. And kids love it. And you know what is important when I do this? Because they play each other's game when they are finished, so the last 10 minutes or 15 minutes, they play each other game, and they give, look, what's really good in this game or what can be improved. So that is important. And I think if you look somewhere in your own language, you will find something to make their own game like that. Of course, scratch and make like a stop motion. So that's always fun to do. I think this is like a stop motion students made from, well, I take some materials and they make it. A few examples of those 8 years old to make those kind of stop motion, and you see if they make it, they see immediately what they can improve about the game. So if you do it again, like 1 month later, you will see that is a big improvement on what they are making. This is just the first time they did it. But you also see that they have this idea already, and because they have to make a storyboard, is very important because you need the abstraction to really make like a stop motion. Here I have some examples. Here you see a roller robot, what they make. Here is how they make like a stop motion. They have to work together. This is like the game studio, and here you see what is really good on the game and what can be improved. So that is important what they make on the computer. And here you see on Scratch, you can make like 100 lessons in your classroom with Scratch, but you have to define something. So here I always have like 3 or 4 lessons that they make like a comic with all the characters who are in there already. And they also have to make a storyboard what we're going to do. So this is really fun to make, and it is all about language. It's not so much about coding, but it's more about language. And you have to wait till somebody else will give you an answer. You have to wait like 2 minutes, 2 seconds or 3 seconds. You cannot speak all at the same time. So that's in the beginning already. And you get really fun stories about it. Now, the 10 till 14 years old, you still can do unplugged activities. I have a few examples of that. You can do Scratch Extra, for instance, using a camera or using sound with Scratch, or make a combination of Scratch and Microbit. And of course, the Microbit, I love the Microbit, so I will show you some examples later. You can make an arcade game, which is also on the MakeCode website. Or you can start scripting with JavaScript or Python, but also design an app. That's on paper, unplugged. They have to think about in a small group, what kind of app are we going to make? So what kind of app do I miss? What kind of app I wish I was there? And I always say to the students, don't think about a game app. It has to be an app what is useful to you. And then you see them looking, why? Because I want to make a game app. I said, no, because there are enough game apps. I want you to think about in another way. And then sometimes you get really nice ideas. For instance, students came up with an idea. We're going to make a picture of our poop when you go to the toilet. And I said, oh, yes, of course, 12 years old, they want to make a photo of their poop. And then they said, and then we will ask a doctor if he can examine the poop on the picture, if you're eating well, or if you're healthy. And then I never thought about that. So they just made really nice design of this. And also you had girls, and they said, when we go shopping, I'm in a shop and I want to buy this t-shirt, but then I don't know if I have the trousers I have at home, if they will fit. So I want an app, so make a picture of me in my new t-shirt. And then I want to swipe if the skirt I have at home will fit the new t-shirt I want to buy. And I said, I want that app. I wish I was there. So it's not about making the app, because that is quite difficult to really make the app what I had in mind. But thinking about and designing and presenting, you get all 21st century learning skills. Here also, like this is the sandwich box. You probably have seen it.
Welcome to Sandwich Maker 2001. An old model.
Right hand, pick up bread slice.
Right hand, pick up bread slice.
Put down bread slice on plate.
Put down bread slice on plate.
Pick up jam jar with left hand.
Pick up jam jar with left hand.
Unscrew jam jar with right hand.
Unscrew jam jar with right hand.
Put down jam jar with left hand.
Put down jam jar with left hand.
Now put jam lid down with right hand.
Compute.
Pick up butter tub with left hand.
Pick up butter tub with left hand.
Take off the lid with right hand.
Take off butter lid with right hand.
Put down the butter lid. Pick up knife with right hand. Using the knife, scoop some butter and then spread it on the bread, slice of bread.
Scoop butter, spread it on bread.
They really have to be very careful how to describe it. So last week we made like a tosti, you know, with cheese and ham, and we put it in a toaster so it will heat up. And they wanted to use ketchup or curry. They have to make a picture, choose for that. So we had a lot of fun, and of course we eat them. So here is design an app. If you click on this link, you get like the lesson I have for that one. You can do like pixel drawing. It's also pattern recognition. So that is, you can do that in different kind of ways. You have Lego for that, Lego dots to use that, or just on papers. Binary counting, you can do that for the abstraction also. They can write their name binary, so that is fun to do. And here is the Microbit basic. Make an arcade game. Is face sensing for Scratch what you can do, or you can do some scripting, for instance, JavaScript and Python. And I gave a lecture for you like a few months ago, and then I put in there some scripting examples for that. So maybe you can put a link or look at that. Here is the arcade game. They can make their game in arcade, and then they can put it on their phone and play it, which is of course fun. You can see a Python game. You gave them a basic of Python and they will change the colors. This is making a star or making a joke in Python. They can change some basics, so they start learning how to do it. This is P5 JavaScript. They can change the colors or make something else from it. So they also, and here you see it is very easy to read. So first change it and then change all the forms and put it on somewhere else. So it is better that they first change something and then they make something new that is easier to work. And here you see the microbits. Here I use like a LED matrix. They can make a pixel drawing for that and then put it on here. So that's also a higher abstraction. Here you can follow me on Instagram. Of course, a lot of Instagram is on the Microbit, sorry for that. And also I have a website also with 4pip. I put the wrong website in here, I see. So this is the Microbit website. I also have another one. When you look for 4pip, that is my name. So always think big, but start small if you want to do something. Also introduce that to your students. Okay, you have this idea, you want to make a robot life size, but we first start just with some carton. We're going to make first that one and then you can change it. So I wonder if there are some questions that I can answer. So I also have something here to show you, but not so much. So, are there some questions? Did they come in?
First of all, Pauline, thank you so much for this presentation. It was really entertaining and indeed funny and creative, as the title was announcing.
Yeah.
We have a comment.
Okay.
The sandwich bot idea was loved by the watcher. Also, the creative example with the poop, I think we didn't talk.
Well, it didn't come from me. It came from the students. Yeah. So, but also when they start in the beginning, they don't like it, but when they start thinking about it. We had a student and then she said, I never know what to wear. So I want to put all my clothes in the app and I want to shake my phone and then it will come up with what I will wear today. So that's also funny things what they think about in a different kind of way than I would think. Yeah, that is important.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah. You mentioned when you were talking about stop motion, you mentioned that you need abstraction in order to be able to do a stop motion video. And could you give us a bit more details about what type of skills or what type of abilities do you need in order to, or not necessarily need, but what type of abilities the students can develop through this kind of approach in activities?
Yeah, if they when we make like a stop motion, I will show them usually like a picture. This is a stop motion. This is professionally made, and this is made by students, and they see the big difference already. Like okay, and then they make like teams up with 3 or 4, and then I always give them a paper like they have to write make a storyboard. So they make drawings, and only when they made the drawings, they get the iPad to do it. So that is important. And also I take like material like Lego and clay and all kind of things, so they can make their own, get the ideas what they can make. And then I always keep them, because I will have like 1 hour or 1 hour and 15 minutes, something like that. I said, okay, now you have to really speed up, sit down on the ground, make like your own studio on the ground, keep the iPad standing still. Don't pick it up the whole time because you get dizzy with that. And of course, so the people who watch it. And then make your picture, and you need at least 30 pictures, 30 pictures, then you have a story. And then you immediately see when I did that, and then they see immediately, oh, we did this wrong. And then sometimes they can make like a new movie in 5 minutes, because then they know the technique, how to do it. And that one is really better already. And I do that from the age of 5, 6 years old, easy. And sometimes I use like a big colored paper to put on the floor. I fold it and the iPad is standing on there. So they have like this small studio and they lay on the ground. They have to work together. and you always can see one of this putting all the small dolls from Lego, and the other one is making the picture, and the other one think about what kind of music must be there, or they can speak it in. So you see, if you do that, if you do that like 4 times a year, the stop motion is getting better and better. And they do it at home too, because it's free. They download them some on the iPad at home, and they will do it there. I love making stop motion, yeah. And they use they learn algorithm, use an iPad, think about the ideas they have in their head, and then they make it into a movie. So it is really computational thinking in my eyes, yeah.
Thank you. There's another curiosity, because you mentioned working with a visually impaired student,
Yeah.
and you also showed us some slides with examples. Can you give us a bit more details when you prepare activities for the visually impaired students? What kind of factors do you have in mind, and what do you consider when preparing for them?
I'm quite new in this school, and my colleagues always laugh about me, because I first going to do the lesson like I normally do in regular, and I think about how my students can do it, and then I come up with ideas how to change it. So for instance, like the dressing up the doll, we made different kind of material how they can dress up the doll. So they know that it's underwear and that is a skirt. And then you also can use in a regular, I would put all the red colors clothes together, or the blue clothes together. But here you say, okay, use this material, or feel for this material which is smooth or flat or something else. And like with Roll the Robots, we made all the patterns, we put it together. Like the binary lesson, learn how to binary. You have those papers, what you download, and we 3D printed those. So we use a lot of sound for using scripting. We use Sonic Pi because the output is sound, and they use like code. I don't know if you know Sonic Pi. It's really fun to do. And you see that we have like in the classroom only have like we have small classrooms like with less than 10 students. With our 2 or 3 don't see anything, and the others see a little bit. So then we make pairs to do Scratch with them, because Scratch is really difficult. And I made all the blocks in Scratch unplugged. So print them out and put braille on there, so they can make the code, to put it on the table, and then I will put it in. Yeah. So it's always a combination. And for instance, with I start now a project after the holidays to make a podcast, because that's for the 14 years old. We have like a podcast, really good podcast, how they can make with all the microphones, and they make like do that with the full class. Yeah.
Podcast sounds very interesting. Can you give us a bit more details about it? Like you do it with the students, how does it work? Is it for the school? Maybe the teachers are also interested in the podcast in their own.
You can very easily make a podcast just with your phone. That's no problem. But making a podcast, you start about what is an interview, what kind of questions do you ask, and how do you ask the questions? What people are you going to ask? What is the subject? So last year we did a subject about fake news. Last year the podcast was about fake news with our students. So we looked up what is fake news, what kind of questions can we ask, and what kind of people can we interview? So it usually is like teachers, or we say, now you believe in fake news, so you have to play the role of believing in fake news. And then it's not done in 1 hour. So it takes like 8 lessons of 1 hour, to make one. Yeah. But this is fun, and we have a really nice way to really a podcast. It is like this size, and then you have to connect your computer to it. We got good microphones and good thing to put on your head, because our students who don't see a lot, they hear a lot. Yeah, so they hear immediately if somebody is passing by on their walking, or they hear a door, and then we have to do it all over again. So we make sure that it's okay. That is a good quality. Yeah.
Thank you for all these insights. I think they're very useful.
Okay.
We have another comment about the sandwich idea.
Okay, yes, yeah.
It's actually a thank you note from one of our teachers.
Okay, yeah.
She says it's a very good way to understand algorithm, and I think it's actually very useful to see. And also from the video you showed us, it seemed very nice, creative, but also very engaging.
Yes, it is. And this is a very good one, because you also made one, but there's a little where it all went wrong. Yeah. And you can, if you look for sandwich robot, you can see, because you need all the good words. They have to really put their good words. They're not allowed to do something else. But do I still have time? I don't know. How much time do I still have?
Yeah, we have time. We are okay. Oh,
because I made this hand robot. So there is how you say?
Yeah, we can see.
Yeah, you see a microbit in here, and there are here are 5 servos. You see? Yeah. Mm-hmm. So if I press here.
That's very nice.
So, and it starts, it's having, and I have this one. So it just lasts. Because in here are small, you see? Mm-hmm. So I made it. And I just have some things here. I like to do something with LED lights, and I made this one. I think I showed this the last time already. I'm just having it here. Because here are all the servos and the LED lights to do that. So it's just controlled by it. Yeah. And the small doll is here. And I just hacked this small cat. Mm-hmm. And there's a motor on it, and on the back is the microbit. So we'll see if it can work it out. The battery is not enough, but it has to turn. Yeah, you probably will understand it, but no. Oh yeah, here it goes. You see?
Yeah.
So if I shake my hand, it will turn, and it's a one button. So it has to shake. Yeah, here it goes again. You see? So that's all done with the microbit, because I think the microbit is very creative. Mm-hmm. And it's difficult too, so it has to be don't start too young with the microbit, because then they get frustrated. That's not working what they want to do.
While watching all this, I wish I was a student all over again. Thank you for showing us these concrete examples with the microbit, because we have some questions around it. I think people are very interested in how to also use it. One, it's a more of a technical questions, if there are also English materials on the website about the microbit, and then the other, it's if you can give us a bit more details about the microbit kit. Okay.
The microbit is this small computer. Here you can see is this small computer. So you have like a battery in the back of it, and you can attach crocodile clips on it. And then I made this mask to put it on with LED lights on it. So you can attach your servo motors on it, or you can there is a lot of material what you can attach on. And this microbit got these LED lights, which you can code. They got like you can use the shake, you can use the accelerometer. It's got a temperature, a sound sensor, a light sensor on it. So many sensors are already on the Microbit what you can use. And on the Microbit site, on the Make Code site, or on the Make Code site is lots and lots of materials what you can start to, and also you can buy very easy things to do. But I always like to make something. Why buy a traffic light if you can make one with a toilet roll and some LED lights, you know? Why buy a car if you can make your own car, you know, just with a CD player and other things. If you look on my Instagram, I give a lot of examples how you really can make very easy things with the Microbit, and then understand it too. It's important. Don't buy something which is really closed. If you cannot open it, you don't own it, you always say. So I start opening things always and then try to make it and see how it is all working. But the Make Code is really, the Microbit is very interesting to use. And my new book is in English, so that's still on the way. As I always say, it's coming. It is coming because it's almost finished, but they made by an American publisher, so I'm depending on that one. Yeah, but it's on the website already. So
I'm looking forward for it, and maybe we can meet again for you to
get there are 30 crazy projects in that book, so they really love it. Yeah, I hacked a Barbie, but in the USA it's not allowed to use Barbie, so hacked a doll. The name is Hacker Doll. Don't use Hacker Barbie. So those kind of stupid things funny things are in there. Yeah. Make like a rocket where you have to make a rocket with a PET flash, you know, such a plastic bottle, put a Microbit on it, and then use like where you pump up your bike. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then it will go up, and then the Microbit starts counting when it goes up, because he measure it, and when he starts in free fall, it's stopping counting. So you know exactly how many milliseconds your rocket was up. Yeah. So I made a boat in there, boats in the water. Funny things.
So many creative ideas. Pauline, we have a few more minutes, and now that I there are still 2 questions that I would like to.
That's okay. Come on.
Now that you mentioned the book, maybe I'm just curious, how do you combine this being an author and writing a book and with your activity in class? Like how do you?
I teach for 2 days a week, and the other 3 days I'm just need my playing time. Yeah, so I always make like a combination, and on those other 3 days I give lectures quite a lot, not like online in the Netherlands, in Belgium, in the UK, in Germany, or I fly to Spain and do lectures. So, and then I have more than enough time to do writing, which I really like. Yeah. So because this book is number 5 already, and also I make games. I made this game. I made like a coding game. I do 1 step to the right, pick something up. Here is go forward. So I made such a coding game, and I always find companies who are willing to make it and distribute it. I don't distribute it myself, but this is distributed by ProWise, which is in the Netherlands, a very big company of Digiboard. I make like a memory game about online chatting and cyber security and those kind of things. So yeah, I'm always making things. I like that. Yeah.
I see that it appeared a question from one of our teachers who is watching us. if we can use Scratch with the Microbit kit.
You can use Scratch and Microbit together. On the Scratch, on the Microbit, you have to put in a special small program you have to put on here. And also you have to put a Scratch link on the computer, and then you have this Scratch blocks. I can put, I can send you the link later, because, or if you look at Scratch Microbit, you find the link how it is working. So how it will work. So you have to put something on the Microbit and then something on your computer. And then in Scratch, you can add the Microbit blocks, and then you can use the two, which is really fun.
Okay, we can add the link later on in the Padlet.
That would be good. Yeah, that would be good. Yes, yes.
Access it. Besides lots of hearts appearing in the chat, there's another curiosity around how many Microbit kits do you actually have in the classroom?
In the classroom, where is mine? In the classroom, I have usually, they have to share with 2 or 3 people. I usually buy this very cheap plastic boxes. And in here is a Microbit, aluminium foil and some LED lights. This is the cable, a battery pack, and here's some piezo and crocodile clip. So I have like 10 of those kits always in the classroom, what they can use, and they can use the basic things. And then next to that, I have a few servos, more LED lights or Christmas lights. You can hack Christmas lights too, or other things. What I see at the $1 shop, we have those very cheap stores where you can buy things less than €1 with electricity in there. I buy usually a few of them, and then we hack them, and then they connect it to the Microbit. Everything what is like a 2 battery, it has a 2 battery pack on there in this $1 shops, you can hack with the Microbit. So you always can like a laser bead or other things what you see, like sometimes a car, you can use them too.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for all these tips. I think useful, and I think our teachers that are watching now, they can already start thinking how they can adapt them and see what are the local for this. But I was interesting if you can share with us, since you shared with us so many creative ideas, if you can also share a bit about your own creative process as a teacher, like when you prepare your lessons, when you think about what to do, how to combine, like how is it actually for you? Maybe you can inspire our teachers as well.
I'm originally a teacher of art. So I'm very creative from the start already. And then I worked in ICT, and I noticed that thinking in another way, thinking creatively, I often solved problems where my male colleagues didn't figure it out. So I thought it is important that females are getting more into tech business and doing tech things. So I'm happy that like 3 of my kids are all in the tech business at this moment. So they really followed me. So I'm happy with that. And being creative, I think it is difficult for me in school sometimes, because in the beginning of the year, I have to hand in all the lessons I'm going to do in that year. That's for me very frustrating. Yeah. And because I give ICT, and I do it in such a funny way, they just let me do. And it is not on the curriculum, so I'm allowed to do that. So, and I give those lessons in all different kind of levels. So they are not so strict with me. But if I am in school and I really have to do it like that, so strict, I get frustrated, because sometimes I see something on Twitter and I try it out myself. And then the next day I want to do it in my school. And that's just part of it. And I get they gave me a big budget to do things like that. So I'm happy with that. But it is just try it, you know. Sometimes you see after 10 minutes, it's not working so well. Then I have something. Then you need something else. You need a backup then. I always have like a backup to do something else. Yeah. And I'm not, of course, not alone. We have like a big 3D printing team, which make things for me, like for the Beebots. We made like the small things. You can put a pen in there. So the Beebot is starting to write. And we just bought a laser cutter so our students can feel the drawings they are making. And of course, I use the laser cutter to make nice things also to make in the classroom. It is just fun to do. And I like that, you know, if I'm not happy giving the lessons, I will look something else. I have to change it myself. Yeah.
So happy teacher, happy students.
Yes, of course. Yeah. And of course, like last week, it was Halloween. We had a Halloween party. So I just brought in pumpkins and we cut the pumpkins. And then the headmaster came, what are you doing? You have to give ICT lesson. And I said, I put in LED lights. I put in LED lights. And everybody started laughing.
So it became an ICT lesson.
Yeah, then it's an ICT lesson.
Pauline, thank you so much for all these sharing and ideas and tips. And we are almost near the end of the session. If you have, you already gave us a lot, but if you have a short message for the teachers watching us.
I think you just have to try it and try the things that you tried yourself. Don't try anything what you have not. If you want to give like a good Scratch lesson, you really have to make like 5 or 10 Scratch projects yourself, or else you cannot give the Scratch lesson, even if it looks really simple. The students have questions, and if every time you cannot answer the question, they will not be happy with that. So, and you don't need a lot of money to do things. You can use Scratch or other online activities. Very easy, no money. You don't need anything. So that's always fun. Do it. Just do it. Yeah.
Just do it. Thank you so much, Pauline. This was also the first session in the parallel session group.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for all the sharing. I'm going to switch now to Romanian for the wrap up.
Yeah.
Mulțumesc tare mult și